Good morning, dear students. Hope that you all are fine, children, and doing your studies regularly. Now, children, as we were doing 19th chapter of English grammar, relative clauses, so today we will continue with that. So, in my previous video, children, I told you about what is a relative clause, and then I told you about the uses of relative nouns and adverbs in relative clauses. Okay, then we did some questions. I gave you some questions as homework, so we will discuss those questions today, and then we will study further. So see this question number A. Fill in the blanks with appropriate relative pronouns. The dog. Now the relative noun which will come here is whose. The dog whose owner had abandoned him has found a new home. Second, have you called the classmates whom you want to invite for your birthday? The coffee shop where my parents had met still exists. So where is the relative pronoun in the sentence? This is the shop that I was telling you about. The little girl who was gifted a piano is thrilled. The service center, the relative noun here will be where. The service center where I got my mobile phone repaired is on the next street. Then you may help yourself to anything that you want. Now the relative noun here is that. I have lost the parcel which I was asked to deliver, which. Then relative noun in the sentence is which. The applicant whose interview is the best will be selected. In the sentence whose is the relative noun to be filled. We booked our guest house which faced the river. Now in the sentence which is the relative noun. Do you know the time when the quiz competition starts? So when is the relative noun here. This is the reason why Enid Blyton is so popular with readers. So this was question number A. Now see question number B. Fill in the blanks with the relative nouns if necessary. Put a cross where they are not needed. So see this question B. The person, in this sentence no relative noun is needed. Okay, in this sentence no relative noun is needed, so we have put a cross here. He met at the wedding was his childhood friend. The plane in which I traveled to Chennai had a smooth flight. Then the museum, no relative noun required, so I have put a cross here. I told you about is 10 minutes from here. I adopted a dog I saw at the animal shelter. Meena is writing a play that she hopes to act in as well. My friend who lives abroad have come home for 2 weeks. Okay, so this was question number B. Now today let's proceed further and see this defining and non-defining relative clauses. Now children, relative clauses, they are of two types, defining and non-defining, and as it is clear from this word defining and non-defining, we understand that a defining relative clause, children, defines the noun we are talking about in the sentence. It gives us more information. A defining relative clause gives us essential information, not more information, essential information about the noun we are talking about. Okay, so defining relative clause gives essential information about the noun we are talking about in the sentence, and it gives the information, children, which is very important in the sentence to give the complete meaning to the sentence. Okay, so a defining relative clause gives us essential information about the noun we are talking about. It is the clause on which the sentence depends for completing its meaning. So it gives the information which is essential for completing the meaning of the sentence. Changing the clause changes the meaning of the sentence completely. Okay, so changing the clause changes the meaning of the sentence completely. If we change this defining relative clause in the sentence, it changes the meaning of the sentence completely. So it is an essential part of the sentence on which the sentence depends for completing its meaning. A defining relative clause usually comes immediately after the noun. Okay, let us understand this with the help of few examples. I know a person who can help you find that book. Now in this sentence clause, who can help you find that book is defining relative clause, because it is giving us the essential information, or it is uh, it is essential for completing the meaning of the sentence. Okay, if we change this clause, the meaning of the entire sentence will change. Okay, so this is defining relative clause. Now we wish to live in a place which is not too far away from the sea. So which is not too far away from the sea is the defining relative clause. Now the next is a non-defining relative clause. Children, as it is clear from this word non-defining, it gives extra information. Okay, it gives extra information about the person or the thing we are talking about in the sentence, and we already know which person or the thing is being referred to, and the sentence continues to make sense without it. So the meaning of the sentence is not complete without defining relative clause, whereas a non-defining clause continues to make sense without it. Okay, now see some examples, children. I am going to meet Sanjay, who helped me with the hotel bookings. Now in this sentence, who helped me with the hotel bookings is the non-defining relative clause, because it is giving us information about the person Sanjay, which is already known to whom, which is already known to the person. Okay, to whom we are talking. Okay, we stayed at Nature's Nest, which is an idyllic seaside resort. So which is an idyllic seaside resort is a non-defining relative clause. Now see question number C, children. Complete the sentences using relative clauses, then identify them as defining or non-defining. The television which is broken needs to be repaired. Now this is, children, defining relative clause. Okay, Lalita, whose car I borrowed, is very kind, non-defining. Then I am looking for the lady who helps my mother with household chores. Now this is defining. My grandfather, who is 90 years old, still plays golf, is defining, non-defining. The laptop that I bought last year is slow. This is defining relative clause. I am scared of what might happen if I don't get the job. So in this might happen if I don't get the job is defining clause, defining relative clause. The silk scarf Soma wore to party was beautiful. In this was wore to the party was beautiful is defining clause, defining relative clause. I spoke to the girl whose brother is a famous actor. So brother is a famous actor is the defining relative clause. The person with whom I had a meeting yesterday is very professional. Is in this I had meeting yesterday is very professional is defining relative clause. And the last one, she is looking for a place where she can relax, where she can relax is defining relative clause. Okay, now correct the errors in the use of relative nouns and adverbs in the following sentences, then underline the relative clauses. Okay, now in this question number D, this story is about the journey. Now in place of what we will write down that. Okay, this is the correct relative noun which will come here, and you have to underline this part, that I went on when I turned 18. This is relative clause. Okay, New Zealand is the country where I want to live in when I grow up. So in this, in place of when, we will write where I want to live in is the relative clause. Arpit is the friend who I enjoy playing badminton with. Okay, so who I enjoy playing badminton with is the relative clause. This is the reason why I have to be careful about my health. In this, why I have to be careful about my health is relative clause. This is the same singer whose album my mother recently bought. Whose album my mother recently bought is the relative clause. Then Harish is the athlete whom I met in the park while jogging. In this, whom I met in the park is relative clause. Shanti is a successful businesswoman now, but she will never forget the days when she barely earned enough to support her family. So when she barely earned enough to support her family, this is the relative clause in this sentence. So this way, children, you will do all these questions and go through the video thoroughly and do your studies well. Thank you. God bless you.